Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie. So I'm gonna put a trigger warning. I'm going to talk about abuse, sexual abuse, binge eating, drugs, everything. Please don't watch this video because this is a doozy. So please do not watch this video if you're under 18 years old. My channel is not for any kids, okay? Seriously? Um, you guys, I want to talk. I want to tell you a little about myself because some of you guys might be new. Sorry. Um, okay, so I have ADHD, so I will be jumping all over the place. Okay, I'm not a good storyteller. I'm not good at doing this because my brain jumps everywhere. But I just want you guys to know a little bit about me. Okay, so I'm a single mom. I'm not going to tell you every single thing because I want to so badly. I'm a single mom. I'm in recovery. I also used to be homeless. I grew up, I had a really hard life, and now, today, I have over 5.5 years sober, which is huge for somebody like me. If you knew where I came from, if you knew what's happened to me, to be sober today, I'm so freaking proud of myself. I am so proud of myself because I know my mom would be so proud of me. But, you guys, sorry. So another thing is I have my 3 kids that I have full custody of all 3 of my children. Not all of them, but 3 of them, okay? And unfortunately, my addiction led me down a really, really dark path, and I don't want to cry. It's barely the beginning, so... But anyways, you guys, if I look up a lot, I can't look at this right here the whole time. I can't do it. And just so sorry. But, so basically what I wanted to say was that, okay, so my mom and my dad both had 6 kids. I'm the only kid from the 2. My mom had 6 kids from 6 different men, and I followed right in her footsteps. My dad had 6 kids from 3 different women. But my dad was married. He is married. He has his wife. They're still together. It's been 25 years or something. But anyway, so to shorten this story up, you guys, so I was SA'd when I was very young, and I think that really did kind of set the path for what I would allow later on. So from a very young age, I moved around. We moved around so much. I never, ever, ever stayed in the same school. I went to every school there was in Fresno, California, in Woodland, California, in Davis, all over California. Literally, we moved so much. I have so many memories of all of our stuff being in front of our house and the police knocking on our door and making us leave because we would be evicted. We got evicted so many times, you guys. I can't even count how many times. Probably more than on both hands. I mean, it was just nuts. And so I had a really bad childhood. And my mom sent me with my aunt because I was out of control. I became out of control very young. My mom would always have me around grown men, which were really old. And I was just thinking about that the other day. These were grown ass men in their 40s, hanging out with me. I was fucking 10, you know? I mean, giving me cigarettes and drugs, But anyway, my mom was crazy. She was off the hook. But my mom's dad, he was a molester. And so I know my mom was the way she was because of her, how she grew up. So I don't blame my mom at all. I love her so much. I miss her so much. But I had a really hard life, you guys. And that was really challenging, to not ever know where you're going to be at, and we moved so much, and I just was never able to talk to my mom. We didn't do homework together. For Christmas, I remember one Christmas, I don't remember any Christmases where we had a tree, to be honest with you. Never. But I remember one Christmas where we colored a tree and my brother taped it to the wall. And that's fucking sad. Like, that's fucking sad, man. To be a kid and, you know what I mean? Like, all these other kids were opening presents. Well, I knew it was okay because my mom didn't have it, and that's okay. She did what she could. But that's sad, and it just makes me sad even thinking about it. And I remember my birthday is December 13th. So my mama would tell me, you want a birthday present or you want a Christmas present? And she'd laugh, but she was serious, But presents, it wasn't about that. It was just the fact, the trauma that I can't get over. My mom sent me with my dad, with my aunt. I lived with all of my aunts for a while. My mom had lots of sisters. And, man, you guys, like, one of my aunts, she loved me so much, and she did try so hard to keep me, but my mom would go to rehab, and my aunt would have to give me back, and I would go live with my Thea, and I'd get in school, I'd get in therapy, and I was out of control, really, really bad, because I had a really hard life, and as soon as I would get on the right path, my mom would get out of rehab and take me back. I moved in with my dad, and my dad was with his wife, and immediately, like, my dad overdosed in front of me when I was like 8 years old. My dad was a heroin addict and drug addict, alcoholic, everything. So again, like, psychologically that really messed me up, but I love my dad. And I remember, like, man, you guys, every time he'd write me letters from prison, I would always think, he's gonna get out and he's gonna change. It's because he would always say, like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and he wouldn't even see me when he would get out. And I just remember, gosh, I wanted a dad so bad. And it was different because my mom, she was super messed up, but she loved me. And I know my mom loved me. Like, she maybe didn't love me the right way, but she loved me, If I was sick, she would go get me pills because she didn't want me to be sick. That's what kind of love, she didn't know, right? In my mind, that's what I say. We used together when I was 14 and pregnant, 13, 12, young, okay? And same thing, my dad was using with me. My dad was pimping me out to my daughter's father, who was like 25 years old when I was 14, to get dope. That's kind of like, that's how it was for us. And so yeah, you guys, immediately after, I had 3 kids by the time I was 19, and I graduated college when I was 19. I got a job. I was doing really good. I had a custody of my 2 kids. And I got this job doing a caregiver. And I'm going to really shorten this up because I really don't want to have... So I was this caregiver and I was doing really good. And I hurt my back. I can't remember how old I was at this point. I was young still. I was like 21, 22. I was young. Hurt my back, got put on Oxycontin immediately, and immediately got addicted. Lost my kids to addiction, and immediately I moved from Washington State to Fresno, California. And I relapsed when I got to Fresno. I had already been on the pills, but I relapsed on meth because pills, you couldn't find pills, The only thing was heroin, and I didn't want to do heroin because I knew what heroin did to my dad. And in my mind, I was like, well, meth is way better because at least I'm not doing heroin. And so what ended up happening was I ended up going on meth, and I ended up down a really dark path. I met this man, and I got pregnant of my daughter, and I ended up being really bad on drugs, and I ended up in a car accident, and I ended up losing the baby. She was a stillborn. I had to deliver, and I had to do all of that. And I remember after that, again, I kept going. I kept going. I would go out with these men, and because I was like, oh, I want a father figure, and these men would be like, oh, I'm such a good dad, and I was like, oh, you're a good dad, okay, and and then I got pregnant again, same man, and this time another girl, and as soon as I got pregnant, I think I really was like, God, I need to change so I can give this child a chance. And unfortunately, it took me a while before I changed, but I did. And I called my dad and I said, can you please come and pick me up? And my dad was like, but his wife was like, she came and they saved my life. They saved my daughter's life. I had Nevea, and when I had Nevea, CPS immediately got involved because, hello, and I had all this money because I just got my taxes, and I was like, man, could I just tell them, can I give you this $5,000? Will you leave? And my dad was like, do not do that because that's, a felony. You can't bribe county workers, whatever. You guys, I ended up going to this program and I did really, really good, and I got sober and I was doing really, really good. And Nevaeh's dad, he came and he moved with us, and we got our own place, and I never knew love. I've never had love. Nobody's ever loved me my whole life. I don't really believe that anybody's ever loved me. I'm not lying. I believe it. I don't believe anybody loves me but God and my kids, and that's facts. I've never felt love. But this love was abusive love, and it had me by the grips. And I'm trying to condense my story because there's so much. And I got pregnant again with my son, and I was doing good, and I had to get dentures because he knocked my teeth out. And when I got the dentures, I got put on pain pills, and I relapsed on pain pills. But I got sober fairly quickly, and he relapsed on meth, and then it was really downhill from there. My mom ended up moving in with me, and my mom ended up dying in January of 2016. And when my mom died, my whole world collapsed because we were so codependent. Really bad. And you guys, when I lost my mom, really honestly, it was a blessing in disguise because she was an alcoholic, and she was so sick, you guys. My mom was on life support like 4 fucking times, and watching my mom with the ventilator, and it was just really, really hard so many times. And she would always pull through, and the last time, like, she would always need blood. She was so sick, and she wanted to be sober so bad. And I remember, sorry. She really wanted to be sober, and she couldn't. And I remember when my mom died, I had my own place, but their dad, he kept coming over, beating the shit out of me. And, I had a restraining order, and he didn't care. And CPS came, and they told me, they said, if you don't leave this house, we are going to take your kids. And I'm like, why? I'm not on drugs. They would come and piss test me all the time because he'd call and tell them I'm on drugs. But I was like, no. I knew they were going to come. Otherwise, I would have probably been on drugs, you guys. And so anyways, the last time he came, he was beating me, and he had a mag light in his pocket, and I hit him over the head with it, and I busted his head open. And I was really scared because blood was literally, everywhere, and I was like, fuck, I'm in trouble, because he was like, oh, bitch, you're going down, after he just beat the shit out of me, He was like, you're going down, you're going to jail. And I was like, no, you're going to jail because there's a restraining order, and you shouldn't have broken into my house. You're not supposed to be here. And you guys, thank God Nevaeh and Nico didn't wake up, but he was so scared because, he was the one with the restraining order. And really, it was self-defense. And after that, you guys, I was like, dude, I'm done. I'm not ever going to be back with this person. Because in my mind, I still would go back to him, And after that, I had already lost my mom, and I needed his help with the kids. Financially, I was by myself. I didn't have nobody. And it's been this way all this time, And he would tell me, oh, I'm going to help you. I'll give you some money. And he would lie. So anyway, I separated from him. I ended up moving out, and I ended up moving with my brother, and we moved my whole house and everything. And after that, I realized my brother and his family are having problems, and like that wasn't a good idea. Like, I got to get out of this house. So I ended up moving again, and I ended up going into a shelter, a domestic violence shelter. Um, I'm sure I'm missing some points. I think their dad hadn't gone to prison yet, and he kept on finding me, and I went to this shelter. And when I went to this shelter, you guys, something super bad happened. And the worst thing that could have ever happened, ever, happened to my kid. And at the shelter, I'm living at a shelter, and for battered women, to get protection from somebody, and somebody, does this, and I never seen it coming. And that set me on a psychological path that I can't even explain to you. But I mean, nobody could prepare you for somebody hurting your child. Nobody. Nothing in the world can prepare you for this day. Like, nothing. Like, I can't express how deep this pain is inside of my fucking soul. And I just know that I wanted to do really bad to this person, and I couldn't, because who would watch my kids? You can't go to prison, Jamie. Like, and you guys, I immediately got my kid in counseling and therapy, and it's been a journey ever since. I was sober. I got sober, and I've been sober over 5.5 years. But I said, Jamie, your mom, like, I had nobody to guide me, and that's been this problem all along. Like, I really had no guidance. The people that I'm looking up to are on dope, on fucking tweaking, driving shopping carts, no license, no cars, no credit cards, nothing. I had nobody to look up to. Like, I don't have nobody. I have all these brothers and sisters, but I have no relationship with any of them except one, and she's got BPD, so we be back and forth. I'm like, come on now. But I had no guidance, and so I started going to church in hopes that somebody could help guide me, because this is the truth. I'm 33, but really, now I'm a lot better, but before I was like, man, I'm 26, I don't know nothing, I'm so dumb, I didn't know shit. Like, I really didn't. Like, I didn't get taught anything. As a child, I really didn't. Like, I'm not lying. It's like, people like, oh, you gotta do this. How do you do that if you've never been taught it? I don't know. And so I realized, like, you have to teach yourself. And so I started trying to teach myself, and I'm still trying to this day, But today, you guys, I have a driver's license, which I wouldn't have had that, because I drove with nothing. I was like, I don't give a shit. Cops would pull me over, and I'd be like, I gotta drive, I got stuff to do. like, they're the problem. Like, why are you pulling me over? Like, you ain't got a license. I'm like, so? I gotta go. Like, you guys, I have electricity in my name. Like, I don't have to worry about my electricity getting shut off. Like, that's a big, huge deal. Like, you guys, we'd be stealing power. My dad was a fucking electrician. He could splice power from anybody's house, okay? And, like, no joke. And, even showering, we had to shower in buckets. Like, we didn't even have hot water. Like, we'd have to steal water or whatever. Like, we had a barbecue made out of a freaking shopping cart for one time. Like, dude, I don't know, man. But where I come from is not where I am and where I ever, want to be. And today, you guys, I've had a lot of trauma, as you guys can see. Like, the worst thing was what happened to my child, and I think prior to that, mentally, I was okay. And now, every day is a struggle, because every day I have to fight, against multiple things, like, it's just a struggle. But seeing my kids, having my kids, like, that has kept me where I am. If it were not for these kids, I would have been dead. I would have probably overdosed, because I've never done heroin, but I promised myself if I ever were to go back on drugs that I would fucking shoot up heroin and kill myself, because I don't ever want to live on drugs again, ever. I really don't. I couldn't do that to my kids. I know that sounds crazy, but I told myself, if you did that, you would literally go drive and drop your kids off at CPS, because that's what you're doing, is saying goodbye to your kids forever, you know? Drugs have something that it gives you that dopamine, and also love. Love and the feeling of wanted and like comfort, and like, I don't know how to explain it, but that gives you also dopamine. Like, so it's like I chase that dopamine to feel that love, because I'm missing that love inside of me. And I've been trying to heal myself over these years. For a long time, you guys, I was with these people, and you have to understand, like, I had all these kids. I was a kid myself. I didn't even know. I didn't know anything. No, I didn't go to school very much, man. I told you. I didn't graduate from school. I got my GED, but I wasn't in school consistently. Like, I wasn't taught, They didn't teach me shit. I'd miss school for weeks, dude. SAR was constantly at my mom's house. My mom freaking would be mad. I'm gonna go to jail, but she was the one who never took me to school. Like, a lot of stuff that I wish I knew, but I don't, And now I'm trying to find a family. Like, I have to be very careful, though, because of what happened, But now, where I am at is I'm a single mom. I'm raising these 3 kids by myself, which means everything is on me. Everything. The cooking, the cleaning, all the appointments, everything, And it's a lot, It's very overwhelming sometimes. It really is. I don't say that to complain, but I wish that I had help sometimes, And more than anything, a companion to talk to, like, not companion, but I mean, like, a mentor, you know what I mean? Because I crave that relationship so bad. I mean, I see the pastor always talking about his daughters, and like, man, my dad didn't even fucking care about me, Like, my dad was literally selling me to the dope dealer, like, like, just, I wish and hope and pray, that maybe one day I can find a companion, when I'm in a better spot, which I don't know when that will be, you guys, but I just pray that I continue to do what I'm doing. I go to church and I try so hard, you guys, I try so hard to keep my kids involved in church, and I'm trying the best that I can. Life is not easy, but life is not hard like it was. Life could be so different, you guys. Like, today, I have so many things to be proud of, like, so many. But social media can make you feel like your so many is nothing. So I really am mindful of what I put into my body, because social media can, like, I don't have Instagram anymore because, looking at people's lives, like, okay, some people have way more money than I do. Okay, they got a, nice car or whatever. That makes you feel like you have to have that, or you're not good enough because you don't have that, And it's like, I don't want to feel like that. Like, even looking around, like, I didn't want to post videos for so long because the floors here are so ugly and gross. I have no control over that. Like, the landlord is not going to change the floors, But I felt like, gosh, this is so gross because, but because of social media, it made me feel like my house was net, And it's like, no, dude, you could have been in a motel, like, had nothing. You know what I mean? So I try to be very mindful of that. You guys, this has been a really, really, really long video, so I'm going to hurry up and wrap it up. I just wanted to tell you guys, a lot of you guys have already heard this story, so, thanks for listening. I just wanted to tell the new people, about this whole little situation. Not situation, but you guys, I have ADHD, so sorry, I was forgetting what I was going to say. Anyways, so today when I went to church, I sat there and I cried the whole time because, again, I wish I had a family, I don't have a brother or sister. Like, my brother, we don't have no relationship at all, nothing. Me and my sister, we have only one sister, like I said, and, like, I wish it wasn't like that. You know, my kids don't have nobody but me at all. At all. You know, I keep my son away from his stepdad a lot because he doesn't have that kind of relationship with him, and I know it's never going to be like that. And I pray for the day that that changes, you know. I see people out there that have magical husbands that love their kids that weren't theirs. And I pray, you know, that one day when God wants that to happen, that that will happen. But for now, you guys, I just pray that I can get myself back on the path where I was eating right and doing good, because since the kids have been out of school, I have had no self-control. You know, we've all been sick, and that caused me a lot of stress. And so I sat here binge eating sugar, which is not good at all, and it puts me in literally the worst mood, and I just feel like complete crap. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't have the strength to start over and over again. Like, I just don't want to do it, you know. The willpower is not there right now. It's gone, and I need it, and I wish I could find it, but I can't. Every day I wake up and I tell myself today's gonna be the day that I don't fucking eat sugar, but I eat it, and I gotta get it out of my house. Like, I really do. It's the least of my worries at this point. You know, I have way bigger things to cry about, but you guys, you know, I mean, I'm trying not to beat myself up, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not on drugs, and at least I got all these other things that I am doing right, you know. This is just a little bump in the road, and I know once summer's over, I will be right back on track, because it's hard to have control with the kids home. It really is. Once I'm on the control wagon, I'm good. But right now, I'm like, ooh, you know, and it's hard, you know, like, it just is. Like, I don't have nobody I can call, you guys. You guys are it, like, really. So, for watching these crazy ass videos, like, girl, boy, whatever, I don't know. But I know, like, what the hell? Like, I want to make better videos. I've been wanting to, but I just don't want to. I don't know, okay? Anyways, but I did order a mic, so it's like, there's a step in the right direction. I need help. I wish I had somebody to guide me, so I had, you know. Excuse me. Anyways, you guys, God bless you. I hope you guys have a good rest of your guys' week. Tomorrow's Monday, you guys. I hope you guys all get your shit done. If you guys want to add me on Facebook, you can message me on there. Otherwise, yeah, God bless you guys. All right.